Spring 2021 is what I would consider the peak of my anime intake. I was watching just about every seasonal show while still watching shows from my PTR. One of the shows that would come out that spring was Tokyo Revengers. Of course, it's arguably the most popular anime that season, everyone was watching it, and you can bet your top dollar I dropped it at 10 episodes in. This wasn't because I thought the show was bad. I generally enjoyed it, but at the time I was watching 10 anime that season. To some of you, that probably seems easy, wasting an hour or two of your day to enjoy these anime. But to me, as someone who is just starting to enjoy the wonders of reading manga and blazing through series with no time commitment, anime just seemed unnecessary. So yes, I did drop Tokyo Revengers, but along with it, I dropped every other anime I was watching that season, only to revisit one as it ended. One thing I failed to mention earlier though was I actually really did enjoy Tokyo Revengers. But I also hated it. The subpar animation and cliffhangers to every episode annoyed me and caused me to pick up the manga. I caught up to the manga in roughly a week or so and would continue to read it weekly until chapter 220. Tokyo Revengers had failed me. The story was going in a direction it shouldn't have and past what most consider the moment that should have been its conclusion. Searching for the same rush and fun that the Delinquent aspect of Tokyo Revengers gave me, I went digging through forums and websites to find the next Delinquent manga that would give me that same rush. At the end of all this digging, I had added too many Delinquent manga to handle on my PTR to pick from, so I did what any sane man does. I went on a picker wheel, put them all on there, and went till one was left standing. At the end, the manga that was chosen for me was Crows. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. My favorite Delinquent manga, Crows. Harumichi Boya transfers to Suzerain High mid-year, but this isn't just any school. It is known as the Crows School, where the rotten of the rotten go to. Boya becomes the #1 fighter in the school, and in doing so, he sets off a chain of events of high school gang warfare in the area. Now, if that sounds basic, that is because, well, it's pretty basic. But trust me, for anyone who thinks that synopsis is too basic, the main enjoyment from this series is just seeing the characters interact and how the conflict evolves along with the art. Our main character, Harumichi, is basic. I like basic. I don't need a black swordsman or a desperate little emo boy in my stories to enjoy them. What I need is someone I can relate to, and I can relate to Harumichi for the most part. He's a guy who just sticks up for his boys and wants to have a fun time and get into fights. Now, I've never actually been in a physical fight, but I would consider myself an undefeated Discord dominator when it comes to verbal fights, so we have a lot in common. He's a simple guy with a good heart, unlike some other Delinquent protagonists who have questionable morals and or desires. Harumichi is just a good guy who does what he needs to. We also have Yasuda, who's Harumichi's first friend at Suzerain. Yasuda is a walking punching bag, but he has his moments, and as Harumichi's #2, it's fun to see him operate under such an incapable leader. As for the rest of the cast at Suzerain, they're all cool, especially about 2/3 of the way into the manga, we get introduced to new first years, which is nice because the manga actually understands time, and they're not in the same class throughout the whole manga's run. Also, as time passes in the manga, you get to see the other side of the town they live in and realize that Harumichi is one small part in this greater narrative that Crows presents towards its latter half. Around that point when we learn more, Harumichi loses his spotlight but is never forgotten and comes back at times to show us why he's the protagonist. Part of this greater narrative is my favorite character, Osama Furukawa, aka Bulldog. I don't want to spoil much of his character and just how cool and diverse he is, so I'll just say this. He's a part of a lot of funny gags, controls some key moments and people, and backs up all his talk. Bulldog is also not the only character we get introduced to in the turning point of the manga. We get a handful of awesome characters who also get their own moments while not being forgotten about in the narrative after their time has passed. The art. The art was the first thing that kept me away from this manga. Without even actually looking at the chapter, I looked at the cover art and was worried the art would be sloppy and dated. but like the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. Although the art isn't great at the start, it's better than what I was expecting, and by the 40th chapter, the art's progression seems so natural you forget how good it looks compared to the start. The only accolades this manga has received is a 2-part OVA made in 1994, and it's...
言いてえことはそれだけかあだったらかかってこいよバンド認めねえてめえに負けたなんて俺は認めねえかかってこいやほんだらおら
Well, it's something, that's for sure. If Crows were to be adapted into an anime today, I think it would become a hit, especially with an already concluded sequel series and a bunch of spin-offs with a few still being published. Overall, Crows is easily my favorite Delinquent manga. Now, that may change because I know for a fact I've read nowhere near all the Delinquent manga, but for now it's my favorite. I urge anyone who's just looking for something to read, not even a Delinquent manga specifically, just any manga, to give this a try, and if you really don't like it after the first volume, then drop it. Until the next one, I've been Elijah D. Gray. Peace. Hold on. We still got an Elijah D. Gray 10 out of 10 segment we need to do. Because I totally didn't just edit the whole video and forget about it till watching it. No. We got a 10 out of 10 segment to do, and like last time I promised, we're going to be doing my favorite Kanye album, which is Yay. Please, forgive me for not doing my webcam. I look like shit. My room's filthy. Yeah, so enjoy the gameplay. Also, on the topic of gameplay, do you guys enjoy it when I do, like, video games in the background? Or should I do, like, nature? Or should I do manga panels? What should I do? Because I don't really know. I've kind of just been experimenting with that recently. But either way, let's get into talking about Yay. Yay is just a great album. I think it's my favorite Kanye album because of how concise it is. It doesn't run into the issue I have with most Kanye albums, which is they have 1 or 2 misses because they go on for so long. For example, Graduation, one of Kanye's best album. Drunken Hot Girls did not need to be on there, but it seemed like it was just something. It makes sense as a song. In no way am I saying it's a horrible song, there's no reason to have it. I understand the concept of Drunken Hot Girls, but overall it ruins the album, but not the entire listening experience of Graduation, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think Ye is just his best, and then second, definitely Kids See Ghost. And third is probably Life of Pablo. Either way, though, we're not here to talk about those two, we're here to talk about Ye. I'm gonna have my track list rankings just going down the screen. It's a great album, and it does everything in the time it needs to. It doesn't overstay its welcome. No 2 songs really sound the same. Ghost Town is amazing. This is all basic stuff everyone knows. The only song I'd say I have a problem with, and it still ranks like high up on this list, is I Thought About Killing You. And my only problem with that one is just how long the intro is to the build-up. And even then, I still really enjoy that song. And with most songs, if they have a longer build-up, I usually won't bother listening to them or adding them to my playlist or skipping them if they do come on. But this one, I find myself genuinely enjoying it and being like, yeah. So overall, that's this 10 out of 10 segment. I know there's more I could say about the album, but for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think it's Kanye's best album. Also in the video, I forgot to mention, if you enjoyed, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, guys, and the support I've been getting recently it's insane. You know, a month ago, I want to say I was at like 30 subscribers, and we've gone up by 150 or something at this point. It's insane, and thank you everyone for coming along on the ride, really. Please stick with me as, I don't know, I get better at this whole thing. But yeah, until the next one, Peace.